Dear Dave, I remember back in the 80s when I read Peace, Prosperity, and the Coming Holocaust that you believed that the so-called financial doomsday prognosticators were wrong in predicting worldwide economic upheaval. As I remember, you based your view on the Scriptures, specifically the verses that pointed to the time of Noah before the flood, when people were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage just before the flood came and Noah entered the ark. Do you still hold to that view, especially now that we are facing not only economic collapse because of our national debt, but pending terrorist attacks as well? Any one of these things could make the Great Depression look like a holiday.
Well, Tom, the Bible hasn't changed. So they've been talking about this for a long time, the collapse of the dollar. Now the euro is going up, has been going up against the dollar. But these things go in cycles as well. Canadian dollar is almost par now,
right,
with the American dollar, but that could change. But how important that is, and I know that there are Bible teachers and economists who talk about the debt. I don't understand this national debt. I don't know how to put together, I'm a CPA, but I still don't know how to put together private assets and so forth. It seems that foreign countries, the Chinese and so forth, still want to buy U.S. Treasury notes. U.S. Treasury notes are the soundest investment in the world. Last I knew, I'm not the expert, but if anyone who read that book, when was that? 85, I think.
Yeah, right. Let's see, 80?
Yes.
85 was Seduction of Christianity, so I think it was prior to that.
It was 83.
Yeah.
And as I recall, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was around 700.
I know. I was going to look that up because I couldn't believe. Lately, when I heard you say that, I couldn't believe it. But it's true. What's it at now? 10,000 or something?
Oh, no. It's 13.5, somewhere around there. Okay. Maybe 13.7, I don't know.
In the double digits.
So had you followed my advice, which I didn't do myself, I mean, I'm not into those kinds of investments. We don't have the funds to do it anyway. But, the prognosticators, all the experts, in fact, were saying it's going to crash. Almost like the words of this letter. Mm-hmm. It's going to make 1929 look like a Sunday school picnic.
Right.
By the way, I was just reading about Sir John Marks Templeton. And what he did, but this was I think a little bit later, it wasn't 29, but 37, something like that. This is in the depths of the Depression. He invested some money. He bought 100 shares of every stock on the New York Exchange that was selling for less than $1. I mean, this is the bottom. And it wasn't long before he began to have a profit. And if you imagine, these same stocks are around. Now they're selling for hundreds of dollars. If you think of the splits, the stock splits they've had, I'm not giving anybody advice out there.
Well, anyway,
it goes up and down.
Look at all the good he did.
Yeah, right.
With that money. Talk about a heretic.
It eventually comes back, unless there's going to be a total collapse of the American economy, and then it wouldn't do you any good if you had it at a bank or in gold or whatever. So, in those days, I recall the unsold houses. We're in kind of a situation like that right now. It was just unbelievable. The houses for rent, I think there were 80,000 in the L.A. area, unoccupied dwellings, and you couldn't give them away. All the books in the bookstores, Christian bookstores, the collapse of the dollar, the attack of Russia on Israel. Mm-hmm. That was the big news. These were the popular books. And I simply went by the Bible because I said, well, I don't think so. Because the Bible, Jesus said, as it was in the days of Noah, and in the days of Lot. Now, he's not talking about the evil. It was very evil. Everyone knows that. That's not what he's emphasizing. It says they were eating and drinking and buying and
marrying,
selling and building and
Mm-hmm.
planting and, partying. It doesn't sound to me like an international financial collapse.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we may be on the brink of this, that's another subject. But at least this is the condition that would exist at the rapture. And I just, the Bible hasn't changed. I still think that this is the condition. I think people are better off now. They got more cars, nicer houses, and bigger salaries, of course. So they're probably in better financial condition now than they were then.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what is ultimately going to happen, it will all be destroyed. But this is in the Great Tribulation.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the coming of Christ is near. I'm looking for the rapture. I sure hope so.
Me too.
But this is over 20 years ago, 24 years ago, my first chapter was titled A Contrary Scenario. Reaganomics, I said, is going to work. Russia is not going to invade Israel. We're not going to have this international financial collapse. Not yet. Not before the rapture. Well, I think that's what the Bible says. And so I'll stand on that right now. And nothing has changed.
And we'll see if we're still around.
Well, we're not going to be still around, I hope. I mean...
but no, we're still around in our bodies prior to the rapture.
Before it happens.
Mm-hmm.
If we're still here and the opposite happens, I don't think you can have the opposite happen from what Jesus said. Unreasonable or whatever, I'll just stick with Jesus, unless my understanding is...
For more information about the Berean call us toll-free at our order number or visit our website